Do 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 do. Welcome to the podcast. Wee.
And we're back to Sequel Podcast Part 2 with Mike.
Part 2, baby.
Mike Robinson.
The good part.
Alright, so let's jump into some other stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about work anymore.
It's good, because I don't know, so it's interesting to hear new things. Outside of you talking about being in the Marines, so...
I'm a man of many hats.
That's all you ever talk about, is the Marines and everything.
Well, you know, we're pretty awesome.
I guess.
So.
I would agree, although I've been liking the Army a lot more lately.
Yeah, well,
But, I mean, it's, to me, it's all the same, kind of. I know the Navy's
yeah.
Navy's in the water, Air Force is in the air, and then you got the Army, and then you got the Marines, which are kind of like
we butt heads all the time.
The cleanup crew, or
cleanup. There's no cleanup crew. We're doing everything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I like about the Marines, is that to me it just seems like they're one of the coolest of the bunch.
We're the tip of the spear. We're the first to fight. Not sure how that works if Rangers lead the way.
Army Rangers?
Yeah. The Rangers have the saying, Rangers lead the way.
And Armies.
And then the Marine Corps has...
Marine, sorry.
The Marine Corps has first to fight.
First to fight.
Because we are. Because we're the ones landing on the beaches and shit.
What is the Marines? Is it be all you can be? No, that's
the Army.
National Guard. Okay.
The Marines is the few, the proud.
The few, the proud, the Marines. That's it.
And
right
it's been
there.
that for a long time. They haven't changed that in forever.
There you go, Mike. If they, this is who you should play if we ever get to do a G.I. Joe movie.
Oh, snap.
Gung Ho. Marine.
You're in Google Plus again.
God damn it. Because I grew up with G.I. Joes. And I always thought this was cool. So Gung Ho. But there's...
Yeah, this guy.
Definitely. But there's this one right here. So here he is in a full dress.
In dress blues.
Yep.
Nice.
That's an actual action figure. That's not like a custom or anything.
No,
that one, they actually sold that.
There's actually this online video group that does a web series called Action Figure Therapy, where they have, and this guy is no shit one of the characters, this actual Marine figure.
Nice.
And they get on there and talk shit.
Really?
Look it up sometime. It's hilarious. Action Figure Therapy.
Action Figure Therapy, and it's on YouTube. I'll just add it right now. I may never ever get to it because I've got a lot on my plate.
They're short videos. They're like 5 to 10 minutes long, depending.
I've seen, like, I don't know if it's the same people, but there's like these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, but they're like adults, so it's like adult Ninja Turtles, and they're all like fucked up and shit. What'd you call it? Action Heroes Therapy?
Action Figure.
Action Figure.
Yeah.
Honey Badger. Oh, Beachhead. I love Beachhead. Subscribe, and we're good.
So there you go.
And this movie right here is about the Marines. This guy's my favorite actor.
I think I've actually seen that movie.
Robert Mitchum. He plays like Pig Iron Matthews or something. Yeah, no, I've seen everything pretty much that he's in, just because he's awesome.
Nice.
So let's talk about movies.
Let's talk about movies. You know what I want to do today? I want to do my rap interview. A spoiler-enriched rap interview.
No, we can't do spoiler-enriched.
No, just release it after the movie. Special features.
No,
because I can't talk about my character at all if we don't do it spoilers.
Okay, well, let's see if we can. Let's try to do this.
Okay, all right.
So,
okay,
Mike,
hold on. Let me get my mindset. What's spoilers? Okay.
You know what? Honestly, like, so you play this character Marty. We don't know what your name is because you never ever say it. It's never ever said. One person says your name, but you really, it's assumed that it's somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's not giving anything away, or it's assumed that it's just like.
Well,
like
I mean,
a boyfriend or something.
Well, you kind of, as you're watching it, you get this. It starts out of like, who is this guy, and then it builds like, it's this guy. Okay.
That's almost saying too much right there.
That's almost saying too much right there, but
I'll try and rein you in if you ever go a little too far.
So my identity is slowly revealed, slowly but surely.
Right, but
in a very, I like, sinister way.
It is, and you're the bad guy in this movie. Let's just say that. Let's just say that you're the bad guy, and we'll also say that no one else is the bad guy. Okay, we're gonna say that. So we're gonna say you are the bad guy. So, like, is there something specific you want to talk about, or just want me to roll with this?
Well, I mean, can I go into his past at all?
You want to talk about the character, or do you want to talk about your experience on the movie?
Well, a little bit of both. Because, I mean, essentially the scene that I helped write.
Right.
If we could talk about that.
You want to talk about the writing, or the filming, or like the inspiration behind it?
The filming and how that helped me develop the character. Like, how it got me...
Yeah. Okay. So...
Because, I mean, you've got it in the trailer.
Okay, so in the trailer... Okay, we'll go with that. So what's in the trailer? The trailer tells you that Detective Cheese has been in protective custody and he's back. And not only that, but he sent away this mobster guy, Freddy, and his son, Marty, is back to get Cheese for revenge.
Did you call my name? No? Oh, sorry.
No. Okay, I see what you're doing. You play Marty.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say it at this point. When I first wrote it and everything, I tried to keep it as low as possible. But as it goes along and everything like that, I realized we can say what your name is. You're Marty.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that big of a deal. No one's ever going to listen to this except for like 2 people.
I'll listen to it and I already know.
Right.
Kelly will listen. She already knows.
She does. Kelly knows the whole thing. You know the whole thing. Everyone who's read the script knows the whole thing. Melissa doesn't. So she listens. And she won't know. But we can talk about this without giving away anything. You play Freddy's son, and you're out to kill Cheese. And we did
hell-bent on it.
Hell-bent on killing Cheese. And that we do you did write a flashback sequence over for in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Because you knew what was what. So
little experience.
So you want to talk about filming or writing? Let's talk about writing.
Okay.
Is this so you wrote it for me? I told
which
you
which was difficult because at the time you were keeping a majority of the script away from me.
Was I?
Yeah. Like you told me.
It's probably because I was still writing it.
You were. You hadn't because it was before the read through. It was one of the last scenes that you like tweaked and finished up before the read through, and then you kept tweaking. Blue Pages.
I was tweaking the whole fucking script.
That happens.
I could have gone on writing it forever.
I'm sure. And I mean that's you always have to stop and think. That time it's like okay, this is
I need
this
to
is
stop
good enough.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, it'll never be good enough.
No, exactly. When you hit that moment of like this is good enough, that's when you have to ask yourself, should I really be writing this? Do I really care enough about it? That's how I've always like seen stuff like that. But yeah, I wrote the scene, which was difficult to write because I was only given guidelines.
Yeah, so I wanted 3 parts. One part is
the letter.
Is the letter that informs you of Freddy dying.
Yeah.
Right. And then that scene ends with the capture.
Yeah, the ambush that led to the capture.
The second part was the torture scene. And then the third part was the escape scene.
The escape. Yeah.
So going into that.
Well, I'm writing it was the first part was, I mean, it was fairly easy because it's just bullshitting.
Dialogue.
Yeah, just bullshitting on an Overwatch position, which, yeah, I've been there. I've been in that exact situation. Not as a sniper, like in the movie, but grunts do that stuff too.
Sleeping? Were you sleeping?
Sleep in
real life?
Oh yeah, you rotate.
Just pass out, and then there's got a guy next to you.
Yeah, he stays awake for like so many hours, and then he'll wake you up, and you stay awake, and he sleeps. You rotate, because you can't sleep at the same time. And you can't be up 5 days straight.
Yeah.
Start seeing stuff after like the second day and start reporting all kinds of crazy stuff. There's an elephant on the road. So that was fun to write. Then the ambush part was a little difficult for me to write.
The ambush part where you're running?
Well, how the ambush was going to happen, because I was trying to
based on our
equipment available.
Production means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, originally when you were talking to me about it, what I envisioned in my head was we were rolling down in a convoy in trucks, and I'm reading the letter.
I did, didn't I? Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah. I'm reading the letter in the truck, and the truck gets hit by like an IED.
I didn't know what you could get either. So.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I looked around, to see if I could find, even just a 7-ton for us to, drive around in for, 10 minutes. But I couldn't.
Okay.
So, that kind of was like, okay, well, I can't do that. So, what about a patrol? And then I thought, well, now we don't have the people or the uniforms and the gear and all that. So I'm like, okay, so what do I have? And I got a list. I got all my airsoft guys together, and I got a list of all the stuff that we had for gear, airsoft guns, real steel guns.
So all those guys, are those their own equipment?
That's their own That was all of our own personal equipment. Yeah.
So, but not like you don't have like 5 suits or anything like that. You only have your one.
No, I've got a lot of extra cannons.
Okay.
So I was able to dish those out, but
Okay.
I don't have like the gear, like the flak jacket or the rifles to go with it, or the helmets. You know, well, essentially what I had was
2 helmets.
I had 2 helmets that were usable for the Marines, and then 2 tan flak jackets or plate carriers, which is like that's the issue that we're going with now. So I was like, okay, so there's only 2 of us now. How am I going to work that? Okay, well, I'll put these guys on an observation post. Well, we still usually do like 5 or 6 guys on one of those if it's just infantry. I know, I'll make them snipers. But 2 snipers aren't going to be out by themselves. Okay, I'll talk about 2 more. A couple clicks down the road.
Yeah.
Couple clicks.
Couple clicks, which you did not use in the.
I didn't use clicks? I'm sorry, I thought I did. I apologize. I told you I would, and I didn't, and I failed you.
There's the memory thing right there.
Yeah, right. But so that came across the sniper aspect of it. So then I was able to get a hold of a sniper rifle. I used my own sniper rifle for it, which technically is an issue over there right now, but it's one of like the available ones that.
The one that we also use for the bar scene.
Yes, yeah. You know, kind of Marty gets attached to that rifle when he gets back. He goes and finds one exactly like it. So, and keeps it rather upset.
Yes.
When it gets lost.
Unfortunately.
I never got to use. You know what? One thing I'm a little disappointed in. I never got to say, "I'll get my gun back."
I'm gonna get my gun back.
Where are you going, Marty? I'm gonna get my gun back.
What is that from?
Men in Black.
Oh yeah.
Kay, where are you going? I'm getting my gun back. Because the bug eats.
Yeah, he eats him and he goes back to get his gun.
Hate me.
Hate me.
But yeah, and then the torture stuff, and then the escape, and I changed it a little bit because you told me you wanted an escape, and when I was writing that, I was trying to think. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make this as believable as possible, with a little bit of extraordinary in it, because that's what develops the character into what he is. So I mean, just a straight rescue. That's a little mundane. It's not mundane. I'm not trying to cheapen it, but that usually happens. That's the way it usually goes down.
How that scene ends.
But then how the scene, because Marty gets.
So one guy's not gonna.
One guy's not gonna escape a compound.
Right.
He might kill a couple guys trying to get out.
So it just so happens that when he's like the 2 guys that he's got, it just so happens that at the same time that the compound is also getting raided by the Navy SEALs.
Exactly. It's just a pure happenstance of luck that this happens. And I try to betray it, but he knows it. There's a moment where he stops and thinks, I'm not going to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to...
So I'm going to take as many people as I can.
Exactly. So that was oh my god, that was so much fun to write, or to act, to do that scene.
There's one part where like Greg's like, just ad-lib with him, and I couldn't use any of that stuff.
Just ad-lib with him.
Because you're like yelling about Cody and Cody's dead. I couldn't use any of that stuff because Greg's talking through it. I think it's because the other guy. I think it's because the other guy that's with you.
That was the master cut. That was the master cut. What it was meant for, essentially.
Couldn't use
it'd be a close up of me with whoever's.
It's more
up
of
there.
a medium shot, though.
Medium.
Yeah, it's more of a medium.
But he's
shot.
out of frame. Whoever I'm talking to, right? Like his face is. No.
No.
I can't. I think that was just the master cut for everything. Because we try to do everything.
It's
like
impossible
a
for me to
medium.
cut anything whenever Greg's like, okay, now do this and do this. But we needed the sound for that shot, so I couldn't use any of it.
Yeah. It was difficult with that because all the blood, you only really had one chance to do most of it.
Because you can't, like, get the second wardrobe in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Wash my face.
Reapply makeup exactly how it was. Yeah.
And I also think because your guys aren't actors.
No, they're
so
not.
So like Greg's like ad-lib with them, and like you're saying some stuff, and the guy's just kind of standing there, not knowing what to say.
Yeah. Well, you know, I brought them in because they know how to look tactical.
Yeah.
And they weren't originally. I didn't want them in the parts that the Haji parts, the terrorist parts, because they were going to be SEALs. I mean.
Yeah.
But we ended up not being able to find anybody. You would have been perfect, honestly. Skin tone, put a mask on you.
I didn't know how those scenes were gonna go, so I didn't want to be around for them because I knew you're gonna be live firing and stuff. And like as you've seen, we've had cops show up. So
yeah, well, with the live fire too, I did every effort I could to make it as safe and lawful as possible.
Right.
And it was.
Okay.
It was. Where we were firing, you can do live fire out there. There's even a sign posted, beyond this point, shotguns allowed at 500 feet, 1,000 feet for rifles and handguns.
Okay.
So it's like you can go out there and shoot. People go hunting out there. And we ended up having
rabbits?
to... there's a
like
couple deer.
all sagebrush and everything out
rabbits, pheasant, a lot.
Okay. It's like desert.
Yeah.
What are you gonna hunt in the desert?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, that was my one thing. I was like, you know what? If they're gonna do a bunch of military stuff with gun stuff, I would like to sit this one out and just see what comes out of it.
And then we ended up, because we had to shoot across a road, a dirt road, for this, what we ended up doing was we posted road guards at very far ends, like having a three-way call with them. Like, we clear down there, okay, block traffic. We didn't even come across anybody to block, but just in case.
Yeah.
All right, we're firing. Action,
Couple
fire.
motorcycle guys, bikers.
Yeah, a couple dirt bikers came through, but we weren't doing any live fire at the time, so it wasn't an issue. We just had to wait for sound.
For them to leave, so it's like...
Yeah. It's actually funny, because you could... I mean, if it's in the background, it's in the background.
Well, you got a plane, and Greg liked the plane, and I left it in, too, because I had no
that
problem
happens
with
over
it.
there. I mean, planes going overhead. The
like
dirt
that
bikes...
slow, or... Okay.
Yeah. You have so much air traffic over there. I mean, none of it's civilian, but you'll have an AC-130 go over. You'll have drones going over that sound like dirt bikes.
Okay.
They own dirt bikes over there. They zoom around on Vespas, even on dirt roads. It's the funniest thing. Little scooters on dirt roads all the time. They'll just be out, dead quiet, middle of the desert, nobody around. You just hear in the background. What the fuck is that guy?
Right.
Okay, that's creeping me out. Where is he? And it's a mountain range, so it echoes like freaking crazy. But yeah, that was a lot. It was a long day. I think total we spent 12 or 13 hours between filming and rehearsing and blocking.
Yeah, because what was it? You that texted me like we got done like 8:30 and bullshit for like another hour,
yeah,
cleaning up and packing up and everything.
Because we had a lot to unpack.
So you were done at like 9:30 pretty much, and you got started at like what 7 in the morning.
We met up at 9.
Got up at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I was up at 7 because I had to go get the guns. No, I had all that stuff.
You just got up at 7 to get it all ready and get
yeah, that's what it was.
Have breakfast and everything.
Yeah. So, no, there was the props that I had to go get because I had to go get my mom's truck. And in her garage, I have all the props stored for airsoft, which is the props that we use to make the place look all militaristic. So, but yeah, I was up at 7, and we didn't finish until like 9:30.
Yeah, no, it's I'm glad you guys did it. It looks good. I can show you when we're done too.
Oh,
I don't mind showing you that unless you don't want to see it.
I want to see it because I mean that's one of the scenes. Like that's me personally. That's where I feel like I get to show my acting. That's like my showboating scene.
You know what? I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I mean,
really?
It's not that your acting sucks there, but like, it's all the other stuff where you really, really shine.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, that's fair. I mean, it's hard to look from the inside on yourself, but
and you barely see your face because you're kind of sleeping. You got the sunglasses on. You're kind of low, talking, looking down, kind of.
That's hard too because you're sitting there and you got that helmet on.
I mean, once you get intense at the end of the stuff, the third part stuff, definitely.
Yeah,
that's good. But like,
that's what I'm talking about.
Like, there's the stuff that we shot up at the beach, up at the lake. That stuff is gold. It's all gold right there. I love that stuff.
Boca, and then the flashback scene. Those are my.
Boca's good. I mean, also when you
fucking
shot up a
intense
ranch in
ones.
San Rafael, that stuff's really, really good too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And the scene with you and Ty at the beginning is really, really good.
Yeah, I really had
That's your
fun
Batman
during.
voice in that. Where is he? It's a little ridiculous, but
I kept doing it, and they'd be like, "All right, go deeper,
Greg
get
would say
angrier. Okay, now bring it down. Okay." And then I eventually gave him like 3 different ones, like different varying intensities.
that. It looks good. That scene's actually really, really awesome. I like that opening scene a lot.
I'm looking forward to seeing it all cut together because doing it,
Well, I got
especially
an hour
like-
and 45 minutes out of everything that we've shot.
no shit,
Yeah.
cut and everything.
Yeah, cut and everything.
Wow.
And that's not including the end credits or the post credits scene.
Full length. Fucking
It's a
feature.
full length scene and a full length movie, and there's stuff that I can cut. Like there's stuff that I put in there between Diane and Jenny
Mm-hmm.
that like I wanted to be kind of animated and be like a fun little sequence.
Right, I read that.
I might cut that
Make a director's cut.
if we can ever get around to it and get that actually animated. That'd be great. But I can see cutting that stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly and Justine.
Oh.
It may not end up in the movie.
Oh, they'll just have to deal.
Well, poor Justine's barely in it. You know, watching all this stuff, it's like,
How do you think?
oh, she doesn't have very many lines.
Well, she's tied up a lot.
She is tied up a lot, and then she's either crying or complaining about something. So all of Justine's
Typical
best
damsel in distress.
you know, and I tried my best not to make it that way, but it just ended up being that
Well,
way.
you know, you can't help it when that's one of the driving forces. You know.
I tried making her stronger in the script. It's in the script that she's a stronger character. But Greg kind of directed Justine in the way of making her a little bit more weaker.
But I think that makes I see that because I was, you know, most of the time I was there, I was watching it. But I think that just heightens the drive of Cheese for the movie. And you know, I mean, if she was a strong character, he wouldn't have to be as intense or as
He
high
wouldn't
to
have
be
to worry as
protective.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
So
like, she
it's
can
kind
handle
of like
herself and
it's like
everything.
the I mean, it's bad wording, bad phrasing, but the weaker that she gets, the stronger the Cheese's character gets.
And the stronger he has to be.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
So I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it drives the story a little bit more.
Right.
Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely.
So-
But yeah, no, I did write her a little bit stronger, and it's fine. But it's just poor Justine didn't get a lot to play with there.
Yeah.
So like cutting more of her, it's just less of her in the movie. You know, Kelly's got enough. She can live with getting a few scenes cut.
Bitch. I barely got anything. I'm the main bad guy.
Well, you got stuck with that character because he's a Marine.
You know what? You say stuck with. I had a great time with that character, and I don't talk a lot.
No, you're
But I have a
there.
presence.
A lot of your scenes are the reasons why the movie gets bumped up like an hour 45 minutes is because like the stuff that you shot at Rancho San Rafael, they go on a little bit longer. Like
Yeah. Well, because I mean, the script, it's like
it's
half a page.
It's half a page of description, and I'm watching. It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That whole scene's like 5 minutes, and that's a funny scene too. I don't want to talk about it because it's funny.
When I fall out of the car.
No. That's good and intense. I like that. Not where you fall out of the car. I don't find that funny at
Okay.
all.
Because I tried not to laugh when I fell, because I did not mean to fall.
Really?
Yeah, I went to step back and then just nothing.
So that was accidental.
That was accident. I just went with it.
It looks good.
Good.
Um,
It look well. I mean,
But,
it's
like-
supposed to look accidental.
what Patrick does is funny. You know, I don't
Oh,
want to say what he
his
does.
little.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he runs, and I wrote that as being funny, and it is exactly how I wanted it
Yeah.
to be. So, is there anything else you want to talk about your stuff that you wrote?
I mean, other than just playing the character, you know, it was fun because when I read it, I originally, I mean, I'll be honest, I originally thought, okay, typical bad guy.
Read the whole script.
When I read the whole script, the first read through, no changes. I read it, and I'll be honest, there were some things I was like, and I gave you and Greg hell about them, and we got them changed, and I like them a little bit better because the whole peeing thing versus the freak out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was more of like, how can we do this?
No, yeah, and I get that. I saw that when I was reading it, and that's why I offered it. And then freaking out on Cheese in the bar,
Yes.
actually beating him up, so I'm not as caught off guard.
Right.
Or there's a reason for it, rather.
It's more intense and it looks better.
Because even the audience, you get focused on that. Because, I mean, I was watching just the quick cuts that we were doing, and even though certain things are going on in frame, you're looking right there.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, bam, where the fuck did he come from? So, I mean, I really liked it. And then
you don't really get to work per se with anybody. Like, there are other people in the scenes, but like you don't get to have like calm one-on-one time except for with Cody.
Yeah.
But everyone else, like, I interact with Boop a lot. It's me and Boop, or it's Greg and Patrick, and it's Kelly and Justine. But you don't get any one-on-one time at all.
No, I mean that's one of the things that kind of that I think helped me develop.
You're like
Marty
this
as a
monster.
Character. No, I am, because and it's not in the script, but I kind of give what I personally found to help me deliver with my scenes was I created, psychological reasonings for everything. Like with the back, my character blames Cheese for everything. Blames him for the captivity.
So, yeah.
Blames him for the captivity, the death. Blames him for the captivity, because if I hadn't gotten that letter, I would have been on my game. Cody would still be alive.
Poor Cody.
Right? Cody would still be alive. I wouldn't have had to see these guys kill my best friend. I probably wouldn't have drank as much. I would have been able to keep a job. That's the only reason I'm working in that stank hole of a bar, is because I can't keep a job anywhere else.
Right.
And all of this driving force is just all this anger that I have nowhere to unleash it on, because I think Cheese is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, he's alive. And just everything comes back. Everything that I've been working to suppress, everything I've been working to get rid of and deal with, it's all back full force. And the only way that my character knows how to deal with that is violence.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no calm talking. There's no pass it up the chain. There's no lawful discourse. There is violence.
That's all you've known, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, did you see that movie Brothers?
No, I haven't.
With Tobey Maguire, and he comes back from Afghanistan.
I think it's Afghanistan, yeah.
And he just freaks out.
And that's
starts pulling guns, and he's going outside, and he's shooting it off, and he's just yelling.
And that's, I don't want to say that exact situation happens a lot with veterans, but veterans have that dilemma. No,
it's almost like that same scene that you wrote in the movie that I came up with, because he's over there and they get captured, him and his best friend, and they make him kill his best friend, and that's what fucks him up.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that would fuck you up.
And, they're like, here's the gun, you fucking shoot and kill this guy, and he has to do it.
Maybe I should see it.
It's good, and it's fucking intense, and he comes back and he thinks that his brother's fucking his wife. All they did was like kiss accidentally, but he, and he doesn't even find out about that, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
But he just thinks he's, and like
there's the suspicion
because his brother's the only one that's been around,
and the only way he knows how to deal with that is violence.
Yeah, because they build in like a whole new kitchen for her and everything,
yeah.
Him and his buddies, and then he comes back and he fucking like, I think he tears it down. He at least breaks the dishes in there.
Shit.
And he just freaks the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's really good. You should probably see it.
Oh, I gotta see it now.
I wish I had it.
With the situation, it's on Netflix. With a situation like that, when you're not only you're in the military, you're deployed, almost every situation you have is dealt with either violence or the threat of violence.
Yeah.
That's just how you deal with things over there.
It's not a talking situation.
Even when you're talking to people over there, it's like, okay, I'm trying to help you so these people don't do violence upon you. So you help me do violence upon them for you. Oh, you're not going to help me? Okay, well then screw you. Oh, you're shooting at me? Well, I'm going to fuck your world up.
Yeah.
That's it. There's the threat of violence and violence. That's the only way you're taught to deal with things, even when you're negotiating and talking and all that stuff. And then to come back and come into a world where that's shunned and looked down upon, it's difficult to adjust. And then with an incident like what Marty had to deal with, it alters you.
Yeah.
Down to every fiber of your being. That changes everything that you are. And I tried to have that carry through everything that he did after that.
You had a lot to get your motivation going. Not a lot of the other characters did, because they were all like, Patrick's played Cheese before.
Yeah.
This is the first time he's ever played him like this.
Yeah.
Greg's played Dutch before, and he's coming right off of the end of Dutch where he takes off, and you don't know what he's been doing for like a years even. So like, but you like had a lot of motivation to help build your intensity and your character and your acting.
And some of it I got to, base off, I had a good starting point. I understood the character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't go through the same horribleness that he had to go to, but the basic understanding of what it was to be a Marine in Afghanistan and come back from that.
Which is why you got stuck with that character. And
you keep saying stuck.
I say the same thing for Olivia too.
I loved that part. I really did.
I'm glad you did. But like,
I want to make another movie as Marty.
Really?
Just, like how I find out Cheese is alive.
Well, Greg was talking about he wants to take all the stuff that you shot and just use that as a short. And I was like, what if I kind of write, something that kind of connects it and makes it a little bit longer. Because I'm doing all these shorts right now.
Yeah.
And, what if, like, Marty, is back in town and he's kind of driving around and he'll flash back to what happened. And
now going to his therapy.
And he'll also find out about Cheese
gets
and everything.
Kicked out. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, kind of like a precursor to Street Meets Pavement.
You see the middle ground. Because you see the climax of Marty's adventure. You get a flashback to the beginning.
Yeah.
And there's that middle ground that you can fill in easily with, just your own imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But that middle ground's there, and I would like to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Definitely. Maybe I will write that. I've got so much other things though. But like that was the idea that I had, like,
really getting the character, I'll show up drunk and have my own flashbacks.
Have you seen Apocalypse Now?
Duh.
Because fucking like Martin Sheen's like really drunk at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah,
where he's, like,
he's actually drunk too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's actually drunk in that scene. And
they gave him a hotel room, and they were
Patrick's got the because he just bought.
They didn't even have cameramen in there, did they?
They might have, but
because there's a couple shots where it's like the camera's like above and in a corner.
Above the fan.
When that's where he like really freaks out.
Well, like Patrick's got the making of. It's called Hearts of Darkness, and it's the making of Apocalypse Now. And I guess like they've got footage of Martin Sheen's just like fucking drunk, and he's like, I think he's fighting with Francis Ford Coppola, and like I guess he thought the mirror was farther away when he goes to punch it. So when he's punching it, he's actually punching it, and the mirror shatters and everything. And
that's why he has that moment of, oh shit.
Yeah. And he just thought he was farther away, but he's totally fucking drunk off his ass in that. I would like to do that, not necessarily with Marty, but or you, but like I think it would be kind of cool if like there's a scene that I write somewhere in the future, or someone's drunk. It's just like, actually get drunk. It would have to be like.
Just stay in character, for God's sake.
And I think it'd be interesting just to see, like, will that person be able to keep the lines the way they're supposed to be, or if they deviate from it, if it's something that's still usable.
Yeah.
I don't know what the scene would be, but like I think it would be interesting. There's a lot of shit like that in movies where people are actually drunk or people are actually high. Like, did you ever see Easy Rider?
Yeah.
And Jack Nicholson, Dennis Hopper, and Peter Fonda are all getting high, and they're actually getting
got high.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they're talking about like spaceship, like Jack Nicholson goes on about like aliens and the government.
Wasn't that all fucking ad-libbed?
I think so. And he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, or at least got nominated for it. And that's where he got big real quick, is after fucking Easy Rider.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no. So who did you work with in this movie? You worked with Ty?
I worked with Ty.
And Patrick a little bit. But it's all you in those scenes. So it's really, you don't really get to play off, like I said.
I don't get to.
You don't even really care what Patrick's saying or Cheese is saying.
Yeah, I bring the scene. That's the way I looked at it. And that's another thing with that Marine Corps mentality. Mm-hmm. Is when you're in there, you take the fight to the enemy. And that's what I tried to show with Marty. I don't care what you have to say unless I'm looking for something very specific. I drive the fight. I take the fight to the enemy, and that's why instead of having a chat with Cheese, I slam his fucking head on the table and put a gun in his mouth. And that's why instead of being like, all right, I'm gonna shoot you, crackhead, unless you tell me where Cheese is, I beat the living shit out of him first.
Yeah. And it's good stuff. You don't. So there's that scene, and then you call up Cheese. and then there's car chases.
That was, you know what? That was hard to do.
The car chase?
No, the call.
Really?
Because I had no idea how to play that. I mean, I'm reading it now. I'm like, okay.
It's a little ridiculous because you don't actually call cheese. You think that you call cheese.
Yeah. But it's like, it's one of those things, like, it needs to be there to drive the story.
I hope he got the gist of what I'm trying to say.
But I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm reading this, and Greg's like, all right, let's do this real quick. And I'm like, how do you want me to do it?
That whole scene right there at that point is just a matter of circumstance where, or a matter of coincidence, because everyone gets where they're supposed to be without really knowing what's going on, and it's all accidental. Because
I'm the one trying to orchestrate this, but I'm pulling in the wrong people.
Yeah, you pulled in the wrong people. Cheese gets there by accident.
Yeah.
And lucks out.
Imagine how that movie would have went if he hadn't shown up.
Exactly.
Oh shit! Pow pow pow!
Yeah, it would have been.
Damn it! You're not. Oh,
exactly,
you're not cheese.
Exactly. So it would have been a whole fucked up mess, and everything would have been fine in the end.
Yeah, Marty would have won.
Well, Marty would have won. Probably would have never found Cheese. Cheese would have won.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I had his girlfriend.
Oh, fuck, you did. Shit would be fucked.
Shit would have been fucked.
So I don't know what would have happened.
You know what? Maybe things would have gone better for Marty.
Yeah, probably gone better for Marty, or probably gone worse. And
Marty's got bad luck.
He's
got bad luck. He's his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know,
which is really everyone's problem in this movie is they're their own worst enemy.
And it's like when I was doing
anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering.
Yeah, I mean Marty's
suffering leads to the dark side.
Tunnel visioned on Cheese.
Yeah,
that he lets down his guard for his surroundings, just basic stuff that you get taught in the Marine Corps, and he lets it down because he's so infatuated. Honestly, I mean, so obsessed by this concept of revenge that he forgets.
It clouds his mind a little bit.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. I mean, he's so focused on, you know, making Cheese suffer. He doesn't realize, you know,
there's other things going on. There's a whole other world going on outside of the situation that he's put himself in.
He's so focused on Cheese, he doesn't care about the consequences of, you know, releasing someone.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on.
No, he's so focused on it, on just this one aspect, but he's determined. How the fuck does he find that cabin?
How does he find that cabin? I think it's just a matter of he's able to catch up to Dutch.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
Because Dutch is the caboose.
Because that's what.
And then you become the caboose.
That's what Marty is. He surveils. He traces things. As a scout sniper, he scouts. He just happens across because they stop, don't they?
No, after Dutch gets Cheese back, it's
straight there.
Yeah. No, you're right. They do stop.
And that's where I catch up. But I don't approach.
No, never mind. No, because when they stop is when he calls and then he goes to the bar. So they don't stop once he gets him back. Okay. It's straight there, and you're able to catch up. Pretty much everybody, it's straight there once everyone stops.
Yeah.
That's how me and Boop get there. That's how Diane and Jenny get there. And you just happen to get there right at the end.
I'm following. I followed somebody.
You get there.
Show up
Follow
late
the
to
trail
party.
of blood.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, one of the things that I always thought of, like, I lost. It's like, fuck, I lost Cheese. So he snaps out of that anger, snaps out of the issues that he was having in that moment, falls back on his training.
Mm-hmm.
How do I tail and surveil this guy? And so that happened because I'm not going to approach. I've got one weapon that's close range at best.
Yeah.
Against two cops.
Talking about the shotgun?
No. Well, yeah, I guess I got two, my pistol and the shotgun. But against two targets, you don't want to do that.
No, well, it's become 4 now.
No, at the time. At the time, it was 2 targets.
Talking...
When I was following Dutch and Cheese.
Okay.
And then they get there, it's like, fuck, there's more. Damn it, what are all these people doing here? So, yeah.
And you don't ever interact with Kelly at all.
No, we never even see each other.
Never see each other, never cross paths.
We look at each other during the car chase.
Oh, yeah, from afar.
Well, I pass her.
You pass her, and she also sees you kidnap or release.
No,
Jenny.
doesn't she stumble across Jenny?
No, because she tells Dutch. She's like, I saw this guy grab cheese and then drop off his girlfriend.
Oh. Well, way to go, Diane. Just sitting back and watching and shit. I should have shot cheese in the face right then and there.
That's how she's able to rescue
Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
She's the big hero of the movie.
Right. Well, when you have a bad guy like me, the only thing that can defeat me is apparently my girlfriend. So.
Someone of equal or lesser value, or equal or more value.
Apparently.
As they say. Yeah, and you don't ever interact, you barely interact with me and Dakota.
I have
half a second
of a scene.
And then that's it.
And another half second of a scene.
Oh, yeah. That's
which
right,
I'm not going to mention.
Yeah, no.
And then, I don't talk to anybody unless I'm screaming at them with a gun in their face or duct taping them.
Or your flashback scenes where you're
my flashback scenes. Yeah, that's. I mean, I really like that because you get to see the man behind the monster. Because I mean, until that point, Marty's just.
You really do see that transformation there too.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up and it's really good. I liked it a lot.
I can't wait to see it after this.
Yeah.
I want to watch it so bad because I've been so excited for that.
Well, there's your rap interview.
Yay, rap interview. Shit. I mean, the only thing it's kind of spoilerific.
What's it about?
But it might take. I don't think certain people get it, but Mr. Bean, you know that feel, bro. Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Oh, okay. You're Sean Bean in this movie.
I'm Sean Bean. I'm Sean Bean in all of Matt's movies.
Pretty much.
One of these days, you're just gonna have me like, you're gonna give me a line, or just say, "With winter is coming."
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Or for England, James.
For England, for me.
For me. No, I like it. For me.
So you watched Body of Lies.
That was a good movie. I was really impressed by it. I gotta say, I have to apologize to Mr. DiCaprio.
What? Because Russell Crowe?
No, because until
like him,
as of late,
you
I
don't
never liked him until last year or two, really, because I always saw him as Titanic, the pretty boy, love boy kind of thing, and I never expected a lot out of him, so I could never.
New York?
I saw it, but I was like, I thought of it as a fluke. This one time he gets it. I never saw any range in him, and then honestly, Kelly force-fed me some DiCaprio movies, and now I feel bad for the guy because he's never won a goddamn Oscar.
He hasn't been nominated.
He's been nominated a lot.
Has he been nominated?
He got nominated for Django.
No, he didn't.
Or not
he
Django.
should have, but he didn't.
No, he's been nominated quite a few times though.
I don't think quite a few. Let's bring it up real quick.
Don't Google Plus it. Just Google it.
I'm not even gonna Google it. I'm just gonna go to IMDb.com, the #1 source for movies on the internet. Where's our paycheck for putting up a plug?
No kidding.
Ender's Game.
I'm looking forward to seeing that either tonight or tomorrow.
Are you gonna go see that?
Red 2, yeah.
What do you guys? Because we were gonna go see a movie tomorrow with you guys.
Yeah.
But me and Patrick are. He finally decided to.
You guys are gonna road trip?
Yeah, we're just gonna go to Sacramento. He was so disappointed that the movie wasn't playing. Yeah, no, I gave him the poster.
You gave him the poster, yeah.
We're not doing the milk thing either, so.
Yeah.
I was the only one that wanted to do that.
I would have done it if other people were gonna do it.
Patrick pussed out, and then Greg flaked. So. There's got to be an awards section. I don't see it.
He hasn't won anything though. He's just been nominated. Just
they'll,
Google
they'll,
it.
They'll show it nominations. Google Plus it.
Yeah, like in this Inception, Gatsby.
Gatsby was awesome.
He's
awards. Did you see Catch Me If You Can?
You got a Golden Globe. Yes.
That's like the pretty boy role too. But he was really good in that.
Yeah, he was good in it. But like I said, because of that and a couple other, I didn't really.
He was nominated for Blood Diamond.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, not these. Just these 3.
Oh.
He was nominated for Blood Diamond, Aviator, and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and that
was a good movie.
where he plays the mentally challenged.
Yeah.
The retarded guy.
He's got autism, didn't he?
Something.
Something.
I don't know if it was autism.
Was he just developmentally challenged?
I never seen Blood Diamond. This is the one movie I've yet
Neither
to
have
see. I wanted to go see it. It was that weekend. Is either that or Apocalypto. Melissa wanted to see Apocalypto, so that's what we went and saw.
That movie was... I don't know. The ending was weird.
How does it end?
Because they see the Spaniards.
Okay. Oh, on the beach.
Yeah.
That's how it ends.
Like that's the last thing you see, and I was like, how is that the big reveal? How is that a big deal? Because people are like, oh, you're supposed to think it's the super ancient civilization. No, because I'm not an idiot.
It's about the Mayans or the Aztecs?
Aztecs.
Is it the Aztecs?
Yeah, these like group.
The Mayans were the ones who disappeared, right? Or was it the Aztecs?
It's
Probably the Aztecs, since that's what the movie was about.
Well, because they were like the characters in it were like an offshoot little village, and they get taken to the fucking mine, the temples,
cutting heads off, throwing them down the fucking the temple.
And then they get away and they meet the conquistadors or see the conquistadors, and that's supposed to be the big reveal, and it literally just goes to credits after that. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, that was such a good twist!" I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Would you say that was a twist or just an ending?
That's just an ending. That's just. You know what that is? We can't figure out how else to end it, so we're just going to show something that's kind of shocking, and that'll be it.
Right.
The rest of it was good. I enjoyed the rest of it. It's just the ending was just like, meh.
You had to end it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's really just...
They couldn't go back to their village. They can't wander around in the jungle forever. So, I mean, it was good. I understand why they did it. It was just hyped up more than I thought it should.
It was hyped up more, and I mean, I would have rather seen Blood Diamond. I still want to see Blood Diamond. No, he's definitely been good in all of Scorsese's movies. Shutter Island, The Aviator.
Shutter Island was amazing.
Definitely.
I really liked the ending on that one, where you can't quite decide if he slipped back into his own psychosis or if he's just no. Because I was looking at it, and the thing that always bugs me about it is when he says, "Is it better to live as a monster or to die as a good man?"
Mm-hmm.
Does he slip back into his psychosis legitimately, or does he pretend to slip back into it
that over
so he
else.
can be lobotomized so he doesn't have to deal with his demons?
I've read the book. I think it hints more a little bit more that he just
slips back
it'll
into
constantly be a circle. Like this isn't the first time they've done this.
Yeah, and I get that, and they mentioned that too. It wasn't the first time, and but I always like that, and I'm one of the few people that have seen it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, he slips back into it. I'm like, yeah, but this one line, is it better to live as a monster, a.k.a. acknowledge the fact that he killed his family, or to die as a hero and be lobotomized thinking that
everything's okay,
that he's trying to stop that, or he's an inspector or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That he either fakes it or chooses to go back into it, convinces himself all over again intentionally because he doesn't. Like, he willfully doesn't.
A lot of those kinds of movies, I like to think that at the very end that they realize it and choose to live the lie opposed to the truth.
Yeah.
Because the truth is harsh.
The truth is harsh.
So you liked Body of Lies. I don't quite remember what this is about. So
it's about what essentially is
so he's not like military or anything.
He's
CIA.
He's CIA. He's working in Iraq, trying to just doing his thing, tracking down terrorists and everything. And it's him getting bumped around. It's the battle between.
They keep fucking with him. Russell Crowe keeps fucking with him.
Russell Crowe's doing his own thing, what he thinks is best when he's over in the stateside in Langley and stuff. And DiCaprio, what he thinks is best because he's on the ground.
Right.
Shit's actually happening.
And Russell Crowe is
clashing.
Desk job guy.
Yeah, he's a desk jockey, and Russell Crowe gets heavy for this role too. He got fat.
Yeah, no, he did.
Me and Kelly were watching it today, and Kelly's like, "Wow, he got fat."
And well, because he calls him a fat ass.
He makes fun of his weight a couple times.
He trips and falls.
He pushes his chair over.
I love that. That's what I loved about Russell.
Where's Harrison? Probably at fucking Baskin Robbins. That doesn't matter. I'm right here, right now. That's awesome.
But Russell Crowe's like one of my favorite actors of all time. That's why I love him in this, is because he's a little bit more silly. I mean, it's a serious movie, But he's kind of like a silly ass in this.
He's degaff about it. He doesn't give a fuck. If
That
it happens one way or the other, he still gets his paycheck.
Yeah.
He still can manage to do his job.
Isn't he like pulling something? Like at the end, like you find out that he's kind of like pulling the strings towards his own benefit at some point. What is he like? What's
no,
his
it's
reveal?
just his. He doesn't really have a reveal.
Does he get like,
His reveal is that he will.
Is he working on under his own terms and not what his bosses are telling him to do?
No,
that didn't. Come
There's
out
not
at
even
all?
no. It's just literally his battle between him and DiCaprio.
I thought somebody comes in at some point with a suitcase when he's in his. He's got his robe on and he's talking. No, that's not.
No, I mean earlier in the movie when he gets like assignments or whatever, but there's no big reveal where he was like a bad guy. He was just someone doing the same job a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not really a bad guy. It's just him and DiCaprio butting heads, which I really liked. I mean, and the end is it's not even him being an asshole. Like, well, I did that because fuck you, or I did that because
It's
you're
just
a
another
tool.
one of those where it just ends,
It's just
though, right.
Not really. He offers DiCaprio a nice desk job. He's like, you know what? You've had enough of that shit. I understand. Let me hook you up with a nice corner office down the hall for me. DiCaprio's like, no, I'm done. I'm done completely.
I really loved Russell Crowe in that movie because it's kind of different. He's not
intense.
Yeah, he's not Gladiator in this.
No.
And you know, I love those roles that he plays like that. Like, oh shit, the other one that he was in, State of Play,
Never seen it.
with Ben Affleck,
Mm-mm.
and he's just like a reporter, like a shitty reporter. And he's really good in that, and he's really good in A Good Year. I like his non-actiony roles,
Yeah.
but he's awesome in actiony roles too. Like Gladiator, obviously.
Les Mis. You get to hear him sing.
I loved him in Les Mis. I mean, like he gets a lot of flack for that. Like he doesn't know how to sing, but I had no problem with it.
I liked it. It's just
He's not a
he
singer.
Sang. Yeah, he'd only been singing for a couple months before he got the role.
Mm.
And he just, he doesn't have this huge range of a lot of people there. But personally, I think the low tone of his songs conveyed his personality a little bit more for me.
Yeah.
Because he was straight and along the line, and that his
Then at
songs
the
kinda
end,
conveyed that.
oh god, the moral dilemma.
Because he's not a bad guy in that. He's just doing
He's
his
Marty.
job. And then he is Marty. And then he realizes, fuck, everything that I based my life on is
Oh,
just,
God.
it's wrong.
I was crying the entire time in that movie.
You would.
I know. I
It's
cry.
alright.
I cry at every fucking movie.
I cried at the end when they see him in the church, when they find him.
Mm-hmm.
And Anne Hathaway's character comes back in
he's an old
to walk
man
him away.
'cause he went into seclusion.
Yeah, so what's her face? His daughter, his adopted daughter.
Whatever. I don't like her. Amanda Seyfried. Right?
Well, the actress, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know
the
what her
character's
character's name is. Isabella?
Claudette?
I don't know.
Is it Claudette?
I don't
Something
know.
Like, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, because so nothing would
That was
happen to
your
her.
tear-jerking moment right there.
That was the tear-jerking moment right there.
For me, it was really when Anne Hathaway was singing. That is what really
That got me choked up. I didn't cry
at that point. Bawling.
I didn't bawl at all, but at the end I was like, I wiped my eyes out.
No, I fucking lost my shit at that song because like I was kind of, I was going through my split with Melissa like kind of right at that point.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
so
it was, like
it's
a couple months in.
already
and, like,
emotionally tumultuous.
Yes, and like everything kind of she was singing about was kind of like because she was singing about her life and like all the mistakes, right?
Yeah, and how she she thought it would be better.
Yeah, and a lot of it was kind of like the reasons why me and Melissa split up. So
And it started to hit home.
yeah, and it's like,
Damn you!
And then I went and snuck into Zero Dark 30.
What'd you think of that movie?
I loved it.
So did I.
It's
I read the book before I saw the movie.
it's a book.
Yeah, the book is called No Easy Day, and you know it's the real story, right?
Opposed to the fake story.
No. There's some people that don't realize that that's the real story of what happened with Osama bin Laden.
Well, I don't see why it wouldn't be. It's not like Inglourious Bastards. And
Right.
That's
Well,
how
I
Hitler
mean,
died?
I think it was National Geographic did a movie. It's on Netflix now, SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
Where it's like the same story, but they change a lot of stuff.
Okay.
and they call it the story of Osama bin Laden. But Zero Dark 30, the book No Easy Day just follows the SEAL team. It's written by one of the SEALs. The SEAL that's specifically the one that's sitting on the couch when the other one's playing horseshoes.
Joel Edgerton's
when he
role.
says, I think so, when he says, what makes you think he's there?
Her confidence.
Her
confidence.
That guy.
So Joel Edgerton.
Yeah. He plays the role of Mark Owen, the author name of the guy who, the Navy SEAL that wrote the book.
Is that line in the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The book is about, it's not about just that raid, it's about that guy's kind of career from going from a regular Navy.
So does it kind of go back and forth?
It talks about some of his raid. It's linear.
Okay.
It's linear. It starts off with him starting training in SEAL Team 6. Because as a SEAL, as a Navy SEAL, you have to like do so many years as a regular SEAL, and then SEAL Team 6 is like fucking top dog of the SEALs. And it talks about his training to get into SEAL Team 6, what he did in Iraq and Afghanistan as part of SEAL Team 6, and then it starts to talk about like how, because it gets you a good base of like how
Do you
things
have this book?
Yeah, if you want to borrow it.
Sure.
It's a good read, and it's, I want to say it's only like 300 pages, so it goes pretty quick.
Not too bad, yeah.
And it's easy to understand, even if you don't know the lingo, it kind of explains it. It's got some cool pictures of like their legitimate gear.
That's something else I want to talk to you about. Okay, so we might end up doing a third part.
Oh, snap.
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, but it shows you, it kind of gets you that baseline of how it normally operates.
So it's like 7, you good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
How it normally operates for Navy SEALs, and then it starts to get into this like shit's kind of changing. They're not talking about this, but they're talking about it. They don't know what they're talking about, but something. When you deploy, you always deploy with like the same guys. They're hand-picking people out of different teams in different areas of the world.
So no one knows what's going on?
Yeah, they're hand-picking the best people. So they're like, something big's going on. And then it talks about the raid and how things messed up, got fucked up there.
Well, they lost the chopper.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And that
Went
actually,
down.
because of the building, it couldn't maintain lift. And it was a prototype chopper too, so it never, other than training.
So do they talk about Area 51 in there?
Yeah, they talk about...
They talk about aliens.
No, they talk about aliens. One of the cool things that they talk about in the book that they didn't mention in the movie at all was, I want to say, if I recall, 5 months before the raid actually happened, when they first start, like in the movie when she's writing all the numbers on the window.
Yeah.
During
99 days,
120
days.
days. Yeah. During that time, the Navy had built a compound exactly like Osama bin Laden's compound.
So there was shit going on.
Yeah, they were training for it.
Okay.
They
And
built
she didn't
that
know.
exact. She didn't know, so they built that exact compound. They had no idea what the inside looked like.
Right.
They built the exact compound to every minor detail they could
To scale.
to scale, and had SEALs training in it for every different contingency. Like, these doors are locked, these doors are walled up. The chopper goes down here. You have to land out here because you can't land inside, and you have to go in. They spent months going over the same raid over and over.
I
and
love
over.
that scene. Like, I saw Zero Dark 30 as kind of like 3 different movies. So it's like in 3 different parts.
You got the operative CIA kind of deal that's looking for them. You got the bureaucratic part, and then you get the
end
SEAL
part
end,
where
yeah.
like the money shot essentially
Yeah.
in the movie, where everyone's waiting for this raid, and I thought the whole movie was awesome, and like I thought that scene at the end was extremely suspenseful, and
I really like. The only thing I did not like about it, and it only comes from being in the military, was their gear. But the helmets, the rifles, all fucking great looking, realistic looking. The only thing that got it for me was the actual plate carriers. They didn't have plates in them.
Okay.
So when they bend over, because there's supposed to be like a piece of ceramic armor right here,
Too much.
It folded.
Easy movement.
the plate carrier folded when there's supposed to be this block of armor. I mean, that was the only thing for me. Other than, I mean, my buddy Tyler ruined it for him. He's like,
Okay.
oh, it's such bullshit. I'm like, dude, get over it. It's one little thing and an otherwise really cool fucking scene.
So, yeah, no, I'd like to borrow that.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
I'll Sunday, text me and I'll bring it over Sunday. No
Can
easy
do.
day.
So let's end part 2 there,
Okay.
and we will be back in another few seconds.
Ooh, part 3.